Coming up on this episode of the Spiro Podcast.
You're doing hard out there. And if you do hard, you get better. And life becomes easy.
Welcome to the Spiro Podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. With your hosts, Todd Kivimaki and Craig Magrum.
Hi, and welcome to the Spiro Podcast, managing your real estate media business. Spiro is all about software that helps you manage your day-to-day business and ultimately to help you scale it up and grow as well. I'm Craig Magrum, host of the podcast. Thank you for joining us this week. We really do appreciate the time that you take out to watch or listen. And we just hope this is an asset to your business, something that will help you grow, challenge you, stretch you, and just help you build a really strong business. Each and every week, our co-host and Spiro founder and owner, Todd Kivimaki. Welcome back, Todd.
Craig, great to be in here. It reminded me, have you ever played the game Cover Your Assets?
No, but we did an episode on that once.
Cover,
you remember that? Remember that title? We're like,
I do now. Yeah, maybe it's because I played that game. I don't know. A group of us, I went to a church retreat and they played that game. I was like, well, this isn't really kosher for a church retreat. Cover your assets. Right? No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, my kids love it. It's fun. It's a very simple but fun game. But you said assets, that got me thinking, and now we're on a tangent. But hello, everybody.
Glad to have you. We're just going to dive right in. A fun topic, I think, this morning that maybe you've wrestled with. We're going to be talking about the top 3 hardest business decisions to make. So, Todd, you're going to be sharing that with us. But before we do, let's talk about Spiro Updates. What's going on with the software?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the event. So it's part of the software. Yeah. We are actually the first software to create our own event. It's called the Spiro Sync. And tickets are on sale. So go to spiro.media, click Spiro Sync. You'll find out all about it. We sold out of VIP tickets like almost instantly. There are still regular admission, and it's not going to be a regular conference. I need to come up with a better term than regular or general. This is a 2-day event in Dayton, Ohio. Our goal is that you come, you breathe, you build, and you grow with community. My goal is you guys walk away, you've got 3 or 4 new names in your cell phone, and you guys get on a Tuesday evening and talk about business. We're going to help you. We're going to inspire you. You all will teach each other. It's going to be a great event. So January 22nd, 23rd, book now. They are going quick. There's only 150 total tickets. Okay. So this is a small event, and we wanted to keep it intimate for that reason, because we want time with you all. All right. So spiro.media, click Spiro Sync. Craig, let's just jump right in. We're working on a few cool things in Spiro that's going to bring you more CRM functionality to help you sell. It's about 4 to 5 weeks away. We'll talk about it in the coming weeks.
Excellent. All right. Well, let's get to business here then, and business decisions ultimately. I think one of the most challenging things I've ever done in my life was start my own business back in 2017. Todd, I was scared to death. I'm not a risk taker by default. And the idea of starting my own business was both exhilarating and absolutely petrifying because, I always had the security blanket of working for an employer, right? But I got to the point in my life and my career where I was like, I just need to challenge myself. I need some freedom. I need to know if I can do this or not. And the potential for moving ahead financially and doing something that I really enjoyed was a great motivator to take that risk. And it didn't hurt that my wife supported that and said, if this is where God's leading in your business and your career, I'll support it. And Todd, I couldn't be more thankful for that. That alone was a huge boost. But in making that decision to move out on my own and start my own business, I suddenly had to face some very, very hard and challenging decisions and questions on how do I do this? What's my next step? And it just got me thinking, you've had 20 plus years of running your own business. And I've wondered
Thanks for
throughout,
aging me, Craig.
I didn't say how old. I'm older than you are. Right. So anyway, I just started wondering this morning. I was thinking, I wonder what the hardest decisions are that Todd has faced, in starting and growing Wow Video Tours and ultimately Spiro as well. So let's just dive in. The top 3 hardest decisions, Todd. What have those decisions been? And can you walk us through how you navigated making those decisions?
I'd love to, Craig. As I look back over the 20 something years of being in business, business is hard. But, I think the longer I'm in business, and in life, I just developed this desire to want to conquer hard. I had a coach, and I can't, not a personal coach, but I read this quote and I can't remember who it was from. But they said, if you do easy in life, life will become hard. If you do hard, life will become easy. If you think about it, if you're like, hey, I just want everything to be easy, how much capacity for problem solving, for communication, for all of those things will you actually gain if you just do easy things? If you do hard, how many of you all out there have done hard? I know you guys have. I hear you. I talk to you daily. You're doing hard out there. And if you do hard, you get better. And life becomes easy. There's things that we do at Wow every day, Wow and Spiro every day, that were almost impassable task when Todd was in year 1 of business, year 5 of business, year 10 and 15 of business. Okay, so you have to have this desire to want to do hard. A hard thing to do is the first of the 3 hardest business decisions is betting on yourself. Craig, you talked like you went all in and you bet on yourself. That's not easy. That's not easy to have the comfort of a job. And maybe it's even a job you hate, but it's still comfortable. You know what to expect. You know what you're going to make. You know it's consistent. And taking that leap of faith into the unknown is difficult.
I think for me, Todd, the decision to do that fear that I had was largely tied to just a lot of self insecurity, a low self image. I've dealt with that a good chunk of my life, and it's still a struggle from time to time. But you eventually get to a point in life where, at least for me, this was a lesson I learned when I worked at Cherry Street Mission in Toledo, where we served people experiencing homelessness. Our executive director shared this maxim with us that sticks with me this day, and it's the people will not change until the pain of staying the same outweighs the pain of change.
Oh, and say that again, Craig.
People will not change until the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of the change. And that's where I got to, despite my insecurities, despite my self-doubt, the pain of staying the same was getting to be too much. And I saw the potential. I saw at least the potential for being able to move ahead in life, financially, otherwise. And I thought, it's just a chance I have to take. I've got to make this decision. So that was the impetus for me to make that change. I was like, I'm tired of experiencing what I'm experiencing right now.
Yeah, I love that, Craig. That is ultimately where we go to, that there's a couple of rock bottoms, like stories that I have throughout my life. And like that sparked change. Mm-hmm. And that completely played true with the idea, like, hey, it was more painful to be in where I'm at than taking the risk of changing and being something new. And I want to make sure that I'm clear on this, that this is not just the listeners out there who say, I want to get into real estate media. This exists every day. You should be examining this every day in your business. Okay. So, the large one, the idea of like, the Cortez, let's burn the ships. We're going all in. That's just the first example. I think I see companies struggle more, and I see myself with stagnant growth over the years when I didn't examine that question on a day-to-day basis. So the easiest example, Craig, is you start your business, things are going well, and you are your business, and you begin to get more business than what you can handle. Okay, you come to this pivotal, scary moment of having to hire somebody. Okay, now let's talk through the idea of having to hire someone. For those of you that haven't hired, I was terrified of hiring the first time, even the 10th time. Okay, it gets a little like, hey, I'm going to pay some money, but let's talk about the breakdown of hiring a photographer. You're hiring a photographer because you have too many jobs coming in than you can actually perform. So it's a pretty safe bet, y'all. Like when your photographer works, they are out there making money, but you are making money. Okay, that's a relatively safe bet. And that is something that you have to examine, hiring a second photographer.
So let me ask, just to clarify, is that a part of then betting on yourself, the decision to bet on other people or make those investments?
100%, Craig, because you have to bet on yourself that you are confident in moving forward. There's so much that comes in that when you bring someone onto your team, when you bring a photographer on, like you can't be like, you have to have some sort of confidence in it. Like who's going to say, yes, I'm going to come join your team and I might make $6,000 this year. Some of the people that joined WOW throughout the years, like I'm so thankful that they did. Like they took a flyer on me. We're not perfect by any means at hiring, but when they come in, we have an established business. We know what a pay scale is. We know where they're starting, where they could go. We know job title descriptions. Like we've figured some of these things out. I think about the first person I hired as like I would love to go back and I wish I had footage of me holding that interview.
Yeah.
I bet it would, I think I would just sit there for the hour that I probably yapped and just cringed the entire time about the interview and be like, how did this person actually think that it was a good idea to stop working where they were working and take a bet on Todd?
That'd be a good topic for us to hit. How to interview.
I think so. If you'd like to know that, just comment below, email us hello@spiro.media. We always want to give you guys what you need out there. Yeah. And we're always happy to share with what we do and what we've seen to be successful.
Cool. Okay. Just an aside there. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. So number one, top 3 hardest business decisions, betting on yourself. Especially if you have low self-esteem like me, it can be a hard thing to trust yourself and yeah, to bet on yourself. Excellent, Todd. So that idea of hiring somebody, that kind of relates to the number 2 top hardest decision to make in hiring people. So do you want to kind of walk us through that?
It does. It's a different hire, Craig. This is at least for me, I brought on photographers. I had probably 3 photographers and I brought them on and I got comfortable with that because I had the comfort of jobs coming in and actually the pain of saying no or the pain of agents being frustrated that we were a week out, 2 weeks booked out. That was greater than the risk of me having to bring on a photographer.
Okay.
Completely different for my first high-level employee. Okay. I talked about this hiring process a little bit last week in the episode on faith. And if you haven't heard that story, please go back, because I struggle with this one and I put it off for a long time. It was that painful for me, was this idea of I need to hire someone that's going to help me with low-level task or mid-level task that is not doing the actual filming of the properties. So this was my first admin.
So kind of the idea of hiring up for a position that doesn't have a direct correlation to income.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So if we think about it, so if you're a math brain or you like numbers, which you all should, we all should. I know some of you are like, no, but like if you're the owner, if you're the CEO of your company, you should know and get to like these things. So a P&L, a profit and loss statement. You have revenue at the top minus cost of goods sold. Your photographers are part of cost of goods. Okay. That I got used to that. That's an easier bet because I had goods that were wanted. Thus I was selling goods. Thus me taking a little bit of money off of that made sense. Like, hey, I'll pay someone to go do the shoots, especially I'm losing business.
Mm-hmm.
When you bring in the salary or the wages for an employee underneath that, inside of all of your other categories, okay? After gross profit, in between net profit, okay? The gross profit is not the net profit, and everything in between there is taking away from what you put in your pocket, what your business makes.
Right.
That was a much more difficult decision for me, Craig, because I couldn't say, hey, I'm going to hire this person. They're going to do 10 shoots this week, and I'm actually going to make more money than I'm spending.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit different because you have to say, hey, I'm going to hire this person. And one, I feel confident that I can go find a person. Two, I feel confident that I can articulate and list out what this person's going to do, how they're going to show success or how they will find success at your business. Three, that I can actually convince the person to say yes to the job. Four, I can onboard, I can train this person, I can set proper expectations, I can pass my knowledge to what's in my head to their head, and then I can walk them through a process to make them successful over a plan of 30, 60, 90 days. Craig, that seemed like a mountain to me.
Sure. There's a lot packed in there.
Oh, I screwed it up for a lot of years, Craig. And that goes back to number one. You have to be confident in betting on yourself to take that risk and say, hey, I'm going to I don't know what to do, but I know that the pain of not doing something is greater than the pain of making the wrong decision.
Huh. That's an interesting twist to that. Just so the willingness to take that risk of making mistakes.
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Right. As owners, I think we get this owner mentality that, well, I don't know about you all, but I don't make any mistakes. Like I think back over the first 5 years of business, Craig, I don't know that I made one mistake in my brain.
That's amazing.
Like I made 3 million, but it's just, again, if you get in this mode of wanting to bet on yourself, you have to have a confidence, and not a blind confidence, but you have to be confident that what you're doing, you're moving forward and you're not focused on those mistakes. Yeah. I think that's what it was, Craig, is I analyzed the mistakes in sync. I didn't harp on them. I fixed them and I evolved. I saw it as an evolution of Todd, not as like the downfall of the business, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So going through hiring my first admin, and again, if you haven't listened to last week's podcast, go back and laugh at me through this process of hiring on Derek. It was a no-brainer, and I still hesitated with it. And what that means is 6 months from then, 12 months from then, 24 months from then, you will actually see that return on your investment. Okay, the more clear you are with the job description, the more clear you are with the goals, the better the person that you're able to attract and hire, the quicker you get to that payoff.
Yeah. But I think the key in that is going into that decision to invest that money in a non-revenue generating role is know exactly what you need out of that role so that you can focus on other revenue generating activities.
Exactly, Craig. And that is where I love the idea of doing a time study. This has to do with, if you haven't listened to our guide on doing a time study, please go back and find those podcasts, because there's 3 levels of where you spend your time, as a coach taught me. What we categorize as admin, nurse, and doctor, if you think about it in a medical terminology. You have to be confident that the doctor activities are going to move your business along further, that you're willing to invest in someone doing the admin and the nurse activities, because you just need to value your time in getting to the doctor activities.
Right. Right. Okay. So number 1, betting on yourself. One of the top 3 hardest business decisions. You got to get started somewhere, so you got to bet on yourself to start. Number 2, let's encapsulate number 2 in the hard decision of spending money to make money.
Yes.
Is that a fair way to summarize what we just talked about? Okay.
It is. Yeah.
Okay. So there's top 2. What's number 3? Hardest, as you look back on Wow Video Tours and even Spiro, what's been the third hardest business decision you've had to make?
Yeah, the third one, and it segues from the idea of knowing, am I spending my time on admin, nurse, or doctor activities, is choosing focus over noise.
Okay.
As you grow a business, Craig, there is more and more noise, what I would call noise. Okay. So when we were doing 5 shoots a day, there was probably a good amount of days until we had someone unhappy or a client needing something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that we are all in a customer service business. Okay. It's a service business we run. Yes, we deliver a product, but we're in a customer service business. And when you're doing, 1 to 5 shoots a day, especially if it's you, there's not a lot of that noise from a customer service perspective. Okay, let's fast forward while doing 100 shoots a day. Okay, that is 2 months, 3 months worth of wow 15 years ago. Okay, in one day. One day we did 3 months what we used to do 15 years ago. So naturally, in one day, you're going to have needs, problems, gaps, I like to call them, come in. And I don't want you to get in the trap of sitting in all of those problems.
Oh, but that's so easy to do.
It is, because we've learned as business owners that when you take really good care of your clients, they are loyal, they stick with you, they refer you, all of the above. They help your business grow. Our number 1 core value at WOW is clients are our number 1 priority. So we think it's the most important thing. But I don't spend any time in the exact situations. On a day of 100 shoots, we're going to have 5 or 10 people that need something. They're going to range from, can you remove this item? Do you have an angle of this bedroom? Is this color tone is off? Where is my this or where is my that? How do I do the download page? What's the unbranded link? Can you use it? Right, Craig? It's infinite.
Right.
We have a large team at WOW that deals with that noise every day, and they're fabulous at it. But I have to choose to not go into their world. There's a couple things here. One, when Todd goes into their world, he disrupts everything. Two, Todd becomes a crutch for their decisions on how to follow our core values and ultimately take care of the client. I don't want that. I want to empower those employees. They are hired and they are on the team because they are good at that. They are good at what they do. So when Todd goes up there, he makes it everybody second guess if they're doing the right thing. And a very easy decision for them becomes a very difficult situation. It's pressure, right? It's difficult to perform under pressure.
Absolutely.
Now the flip side of that is when I am up there, I could sell it as one, I'm building some relationships with them. Like I'm building team, they're getting a little bit of Todd. Two, like I might be able to educate them on something here and there. Even if someone's been here, I think Brittany's been here 8 years. Like if I spend a day or two with her, I'm probably going to be able to show her something that might make her 0.25% better. And this is where the problem comes in, Craig. Todd had to spend 3 days with Brittany to make her 0.25% better versus Todd spending 3 days to move the business along.
Yep.
That's what you all have to choose out there. You have to say no to the noise. If you make something 0.25% better, it is not worth your time. You are doing more of a disservice because that employee is like, well, now I need Todd to make this decision. I wonder if he wants me to make this 0.25% better. Are you striving for perfection? Please don't do that. I did that for far too many years, and it plateaued the growth of our business.
I'm thinking about the differences between you and I, because I faced some of what you're talking about right now when I had my own real estate media business. And people are wired for different gifts, different abilities. And not everybody is called to be an out front type of leader, visionary, get the big picture. Some of us really do like just being hands-on with the tasks. And ultimately that's what I discovered about myself. Is I would rather be in the day-to-day, serving people, shooting the pictures, doing the business development activities, meeting with the realtors and being out in the field doing those things rather than being removed and having to build trust in employees to make those decisions that I don't have time for. I like the day-to-day stuff. And so I had to make the decision in my career to step out of more of that ownership role and more into a support type of role and production type of role. And that's okay. We're all wired different. Mm-hmm. But if you've been called and you have the gifting to lead and to start a business and grow that business, I think it goes back to that number one, bet on yourself. You have to bet on yourself to be able to do number three, choosing the focus over the noise. They're all tied together, Todd.
They really are. So it's a bit of a trick. There wasn't really three, like it's all in one. But if you can figure this out, and if you can choose the focus, if you can bet on yourself, and if you're okay spending a little bit of money to get it back later, you can grow an incredible business. So I just want to end with just a quick perspective. And I am not going to tell you all these stats to gloat or to make you feel pressure, but I want to show you what you can grow to. It is possible. Even in 2025, it is possible. I have some of you, a lot of like, hey, is real estate media going to be around in 5 years? Yes, it's going to be around in 5 years. We were asking that question in 2006. We asked it again 5 years later, 5 years after that. We've asked that question every year. Good business owners find a way to pivot and grow in any environment. Okay, so what you can get to is when you master this, you can, and you don't even have to, I don't have it mastered by any means, but I practice it and we focus on it. I don't do hardly anything at WOW anymore. Okay, so this is year 22, and I don't do much at WOW anymore. And we've found a way to attract great people. We've been okay spending money to make money. And I have figured out, and the team has talked about what they are really good at and where they can bring the most value. We have people overall in the right places. Okay, so we're moving the boat forward. And this year has been a great year at WOW. Okay, so there is the ability to grow. I think many of you knew that 2023 was a terrible year. I've told the story. If you haven't heard it, please go back and listen to it. We did hard in 2023. 2024 was a rebound year. We got really focused, really lean, and it was our best year ever. I was really hands-on in 23 and 24. 25 comes along. Todd gets out of WOW almost entirely. Okay. I have a couple meetings with the leaders. I'm on morning meeting. I try to bring some culture. I want people, I want to be accessible, but I don't make any decisions. I haven't talked to a realtor this year. Maybe one, Craig. I don't want to lie. I mean, our largest client, I met with him at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
But my point is the team has found a way to up our best year ever by almost 30%. It's you, Craig. It's the team. Like, we're going to do, and again, I don't say this to gloat or put pressure on you, but I want you to know what's possible. We're going to be up $750,000 this year over our best year ever last year. So I say that because, and I say this from love with my heart, you've got to get rid of your own excuses. That was one of the hardest things for me to hear. I had a coach tell me, I had it come to me. Like, I saw, like, Todd was really good at believing his own excuses. And if you want your business to grow, you have to get rid of that. You've got to bet on yourself. You've got to be willing to spend some money and get it back later. And you, most importantly, if you do those two things, you have to focus on what's going to move your business along the furthest. That will get you to your goals. Remember, you started this business for you. You started this business to not work a job that you hate. You started this business because you wanted to spend more time with your family, be home on the weekends, be home on the evenings. You know why you started this business.
I was thinking exactly that as you were kind of starting to summarize things. It all goes back to why you start a business. And as you've shared in the past, you start a business to make the business work for you. And if it's not working for you, you're not hitting what your ultimate primary goal was.
Exactly. If you come to work every day and you are beginning to hate what you're doing, if you get angry because a realtor wants a lower price, wants a color less yellow, wants more contrast in a video, you've got to ask yourself some tough questions. Okay. You might need a refresh. Some of you might need a vacation. You might just need a break from it. I can think, I'm going to take a break here in a couple of days. We all get, if the hair on your back stands up because an agent wants a more contrast in a photo, like, you probably need to take a break.
Yeah.
Or you're focused on the wrong thing. You're focused in the noise and you're not focused on the bigger things. Don't be surprised. I coach a guy I coached with, name's Jimmy Bright, good friend of mine. Okay. He helps me coach. We go to church together. He's a very wise individual. He always urges our kids, his kids, and I take this from him, to not be surprised.
Yeah, I remember you talking about this before.
Don't be surprised that an agent wants something cheaper. When you're not surprised by it, you can handle that with grace. You can handle that calmly. And then you can get back to what's actually going to move your business along the furthest.
Yep. Good stuff. The top 3 hardest business decisions you have to make. You mastered these 3 things. You've got a healthy business and healthy growth. Todd, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Craig, I'm going to ask something from our listeners.
Okay.
I don't do this a lot, but I'm going to ask them. Can you all share, because I believe in community. I believe in it more and more every day. Like I told my wife a week ago, like I really feel like relationships are the most important thing in life.
Yeah.
And honestly, like it gets me emotional because I'm so passionate about it. And I've seen how much it can move people out of a dark spot into a good spot. Can you please, what noise were you confused by or fooled you for a while that you eventually chose to focus on something bigger? Can you all share? I'd love us to share as a community these things. And I'd love you guys to say, hey, you and I are in the same stage, or maybe you're one stage ahead of me. Let's Zoom on Tuesday evenings. Okay, that's my goal for you. I love that you guys hop on here and listen to Craig and I. Like, I think you guys will find something in community with each other. And if we can get comments going on this on YouTube, in the comments below, I want you guys to we're all out there doing this, and you don't have to do it on an island. I would love you guys to comment. Craig and I will participate, and I hope that you guys find 2 or 3 other people that you can do community with, so that you can give some perspective to each other, and you guys can be an encouraging group to grow your businesses along.
I think that's kind of key. I have a heart for pastors of churches because I've worked in that world in Christian radio for so long, and I met with a lot of pastors, and I saw. And this, I think, is true across the board for leaders in general, but I saw loneliness. They feel lonely at the top, leading where they're leading,
yes.
Right? And I've experienced that myself in past leadership roles I've had. And by nature, I'm an introvert. But even introverts need community, even if it's just 2 or 3 other people. Like you said, Todd, get together with 2 or 3 other people and have that ongoing conversation. And I told my wife just in the last 3 months, I miss hanging out with guys. I'm so busy with work, and I stepped back from some things at our church, but I've been kind of on my own. And when I'm on my own, even though I kind of get refreshed by it in some ways, I also discovered that's a dangerous place to be when you're by yourself. And so I was talking with a friend of mine at our campground that I happen to go to church with as well. And I kind of shared that struggle. And like, I just need to get together with guys on a more regular basis. He's like, I'm game. If you want to get together for dinner once a month, maybe we can invite our another friend of ours that we both had, that we're all busy with work. We're all about the same age, but we realized we need to carve out that time for community. So last night, Todd, we went to Penn Station, in a nearby town. It just got together, and we're making it a monthly cadence now. It's once a month on a Thursday night. We get together for dinner, and we just talk about anything. It's just getting together with other people and sharpening each other and not isolating ourselves. So we think that's key for all leaders and owners that are watching and listening to this right now.
Agreed. I love that, Craig. It can feel very lonely at the top. Yeah. And I've felt that many times over the years. And a community is going to help you move along out of that.
And you can get some insight on some of these hard decisions you have to face. Maybe you've got a community where they've got some experience in this. Pick their brains. Don't try and make those decisions on your own. There's wisdom in a multitude of counselors. Now, sometimes those counselors get a little crazy, but you gotta choose who the right counselors are, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, good stuff, Todd. Thank you. We appreciate that. All right. Well, that's going to wrap things up this week. You've probably faced these decisions yourself. Hopefully, some of this insight Todd has shared is going to help you navigate through those decisions that you might be facing right now. But like you said, share some of those things that you've been dealing with in the comments on YouTube. Feel free to drop us an email as well. We'd love to hear from you, interact with you. We really do enjoy that. And our email is just hello@spiro.media. Todd, if you have nothing else, I think I'll wrap up.
Yeah. Take us home, Craig.
All right. Well, like we say every week, take the time to be thankful for the blessings in your life. And as the name Spiro suggests, make sure you take a breath. Have a great week.
Thank you for joining us for the Spiro Podcast, Managing Your Real Estate Photography and Videography Business. This is a production of Spiro and Wow Video Tours. You can find out more about Spiro's real estate media business management software at our website, spiro.media.